if only I knew this before I started my business, then I think things could be different. So today I'm going to talk about 12 things that I wish I knew before I started my business. One, I thought that making money is a vision, and this was wrong. Making money was very short term. That is what I grew up seeing. Everybody was starting business left, right, and center just to make money. There was nobody else that was thinking about it in the long term. Like, how am I going to help the society, or how am I going to help the country or the community? It was just basically about me, me. How am I going to survive? How am I going to sustain my family? How am I going to move around? So it was very short term. So the moment I started making money, then I started feeling uncomfortable, like there was something missing. And that's when I discovered that I did not start it with a vision in mind. And then number two, I didn't know that the core values are the values I live every day. So what I did, I copied values from Google, from other companies, and I created values that I had no idea about. And I forgot my values that I lived by. So I sat down and I researched and I discovered that the values that are supposed to be for the company are the values that are aligned with what I believe in, and not what every other person is doing. Number three, I thought that everybody that I would bring into the company would automatically believe in the vision. What I did not like, what I did know is that each and every person has their own values depending on where they grew up in, or who their environment, how their parents brought them up, where they've grown with, the schools they've gone to. So automatically, I would bring somebody into the company, and with the assumption that they would get in and they would adhere to my vision. Then I was wrong, and this was very costly for me. But at the end of the day, I had to let many of my team members go because they did not believe in my vision. But now I'm very careful about who I bring into the company. They have to adhere to the values and to the vision. And then number four, I did not know hiring is a process. When I needed somebody into the company, I would just call anybody, a friend, a relative, I need somebody. And they would bring for me anybody that was there, anybody that was looking for a job, without thinking of the value that these people are going to add to this company. I did not hire slowly and fire fast. I did it the other way around. I hired fast and fired slowly. I would I would take time to really get rid of those people if they are not really adhering to the values of the company, with the thought process that they would change. And that's also when I discovered that you can never change anybody. The only person you can change is you. And then number five, I didn't know that the business requires a structure. I just started the business, and all you are focusing on is how much money can we bring in. We bring in as many customers as possible. We did not think of, is it really bringing in any profits? Is it really sustainable? What we are working on is the more customers we bring in, the more the money that comes in, and the more we are moving on. So it was just a mix up of things. There was no structure, there was no job description. Everybody would do everything. There was no system, there were no processes. And we were just working helter skelter until I realized that the company cannot grow without a structure. And then number six, that there's something called a business model. I had no idea about a business model. I had no idea that you really have to have some revenue streams in place. I did though I have to have a target clients, though it kind of aligned because what I was doing then kind of there was a specific niche that required our services. But by then, I had no idea that we have to focus on this target client. This is how we are going to make our money. This is how we are going to, these are the people who are going to be our suppliers. We were just working, guessing, and hoping that things are, that the business is working for us. But there was no tangible business model. And then I didn't know that there's a difference between sales and marketing. This really took me a long time to understand. I assumed sales and marketing is one and the same thing. And it was an argument that I had with my people for a long time. Makio in a situation where there was no business structure. So basically I thought advertising is marketing. I didn't know that marketing is bigger than just advertising. So sales and marketing, it really took me a long time to differentiate. But through my research, I later came to learn to differentiate the two of them. Number 8, I did know there's a difference between self-employment and running a business. I assumed that as long as you're in the business and you are running your business, you are a business person. I was working in the business. I had not thought about like you can work on the business, that you can make the business grow by working on the business. I think I was expecting miracles by just working in the business. So I was working with my people. I did not think, my focus was not long term, by the way, my focus was very short term. So I didn't know, I just used to wonder how these other big businesses, they've really grown to be what they are. But and it really used to bother me, but I had no idea how to go around it. And then number 9, I didn't know that you just employ people and you expect miracles, because that's exactly what I used to do. I would bring in people and give them instructions, do this, do that, do this, and expect them to do magic and and things to blow up. I did not know that it is a process, that you have to onboard them, you have to train them, and you have to have a system in place so that they know how they should work on the business exactly as per you are working on it. And I would really get angry when they were not performing as per. I had no idea that you even have to do some performance review to really know. And I didn't even know what to use to gauge, how to measure that these people are really performing or these people have grown. And it took me a lot of guesswork to really understand whether these people are performing. So as long as you're busy moving up and down, I knew you were doing something, and that was wrong. So it really took me time before I learned that these people, they come in, they have no idea what is happening. You have to train them. You have to select the right people. You have to select the right people, the right values, and people who are ready to learn, and people who have the right skills. That nobody can do miracles in your business and things to make things change. And then number 10, if there's something I used to avoid, it was social media. I used to think social media is a place for showing off selfies and gossip. And it really took me a long time to really get into social media. And when I realized that many people had really gotten into it and they are breaking through, I was, I felt like I was really behind in many things. I used to And as an introvert, it really took me time to adjust. I had to adjust step by step. I felt like that was not my space. But now I realize that I really missed out on a lot of things by avoiding social media. Number 11, I did know that positioning is very important. I did not even understand what positioning means until I got it from a point of there's an example we were given in class about a musician who used to play clarinet, a famous musician who used to earn a lot of money, who was very famous, But there's one day he went to play the same instrument on the street, and and he was just being given coins, So that differentiated his positioning. His positioning determined what he's making in his business. And then number 12, I knew that a website is just a website. It was just like every company has to have a website. I had no idea what a website is for. I thought it was just a search where somebody go get your website and you're done. I didn't know it was a silent salesperson. This I came to learn later. I remember doing interviews for some salespeople and they were telling me the website is not working for you. And I was wondering, what do you mean the website is not working for me? We have a website. It made me go back to the books and do research and ask queries. And I think many of us still, as long as you're not in marketing, many of us don't know that our website is just another salesperson, a silent salesperson that if if it works well, can really work well for you. And those are the 12 things that I wish I knew, that if I knew when I started my business would be in a different spot. It would be in a different trajectory. It would be in a different, I would operate it very differently. And I hope you'll also learn from this and know that these things are very crucial for you to really align your business forward.